to The Ref Room, hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, and fans.
Broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
With your hosts, Scott Smokin SIlz and Brad Baumruck.
Live.
The Ref Room starts right now.
And now your host.
My man Brad Baumruck, because he's got to work. So, he's got bills to pay apparently. So we are joined. Joe Prescott has been kind enough to come in and co-host with us. And we have a couple of very special guests here. We have the hockey director from York High School, Matt Boeing, and the captain of the varsity team from the Red Division, Mr. Frank Nicosia. Welcome to the show, guys.
How you doing?
What's up, Scott? Thanks for having us back again. Definitely appreciate it. Love what you guys do out here.
Oh, appreciate that and appreciate the support. But I got to tell you, you guys have had one heck of a year. JV champions, state champions, and runner-up in the Red Division of the varsity. I mean, hats off to you guys. Nobody did better than York High School did this year, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's been laying the groundwork for the last couple of years, absolutely. JV's been successful, but haven't really punched their tickets to that state final, and they finally did this year. And then varsity's been a work in progress. Last year, we made, really good regular season record at the SHL playoffs, and now this year, taking it all the way to the United Center. So it's wouldn't be able to happen without the community, the kids, and where we're at now. So thanks, appreciate that.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, so this is the first trip to the United Center for York High School. What was it like? What was the build-up like and everything leading up to the big day?
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know when you're going to be there, and that 10 days between the Final Four and the UC is crucial. You don't know if it's good to have that many days off, or if it's going to be, are you going to be coming in cold and not knowing what to expect. So it was huge. The lead up coming to that, you asked us at the beginning of the year, nobody had the Dukes penciled in to be at the UC, let alone the Final Four. So it was kind of nice to kind of see things were starting to work out around the holidays. And January was almost like a whole new season, a playoff push, and kind of got hot, and the boys were buzzing. It was huge. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, how nervous were you guys, Frank, going into the United Center, not being there before? Did you feel like you couldn't sleep the night before? Or?
Yeah, definitely tough to sleep the night before. I think that, like you said, that 10-day buildup was a long 10 days, to say the least. Hearing it from just people around the community, people in school, talking about the state championship. It was a long 10 days, and it was a big buildup for sure.
Is it too long, do you think? I mean, the Super Bowl has that almost 2-week period off where, they get to recover and recuperate and practice and get warmed up and all that good stuff. But, we're so used to playing games like every other day, every 3-4 times a week. 10 days off is a long time to just keep seeing your teammates on the ice practicing and practicing and practicing. I know you got a lot of angst built up and you're ready to get at somebody at that point.
Yeah, those first couple of days I think were a little bit nice, but after 2-3 days, you're ready to play. That's all you could think about in school and outside of school too, and practice helped with that a little bit. At least you can get on the ice and kind of get your mind off of it, but it's definitely a long time. Maybe a little bit sooner would have been nicer.
Do you practice like every day, or do you guys take a couple days off and come back? How does that work in that 10-day period? Because that is a lot of...
Yeah, we practiced Monday, Wednesday, Friday for that, which was nice. It was nice to have those days in between to kind of rest and just think.
Yeah, and then in terms of, did you guys stay together at a hotel the night before? Did you go downtown and then go to the game, or did you stay at home? And did you have a team meal or anything before, leading up to this big event?
Yeah, we had a team meal Thursday night at one of the players' houses, and then Friday we had a team video session, which was nice to have, kind of get everyone together. And then we got there pretty early Sunday to the rink before the game, and we kind of all just hung out for a little bit prior, and then we all took a team bus down there, which was really cool, really nice.
You don't get to do that during the normal course of the year, huh?
No, definitely not. Not team buses to every game, so that was pretty cool.
Some teams have those luxuries. They kind of travel together and move about. I mean, that's moving forward, is that something you would do for a couple of your other big games or tournaments there, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, we've taken it to Minnesota before, to the Wayzata tournament, which is a blast. I mean, this is legit charter bus. It's got TVs on there. It's got a bathroom on there. Boys aren't allowed to use that though, unless it's not going to stink up the bus. But it was cool. It was definitely great. Having those 10 days off, it was great to have the boys celebrate that Final Four for sure. Yeah. Get excited for it, and then focus on the United Center. I would say maybe 7 days would probably be a little bit better, but 10 days might have been a little bit much if I had to say something. But yeah, it'd be great to get buses for everything. I know Stevenson is sponsored by their school, so they get to use the yellow school buses. I don't know. You'd have to ask Frank about the environment on the bus if the boys enjoy it, or kind of how that would work out.
Yeah, the bus was it was awesome. I mean, it kind of felt like you were going to play like an NHL game. It was that type of environment. I mean, everyone was locked in on the bus. We took a drive by. All the parents were, tailgating before the game. We took a drive by them. That was definitely a cool experience. I think everyone got a little bit of chills when that happened. So the bus was awesome.
Yeah. Tell me something. How nervous were you for the first shift? Were you nervous? You get a little longer warm-up period at this game, because I think they give you 10 minutes, right, for warm-up instead of the normal 5. Was that enough to get the jitters out, or was it still nerve-wracking that first shift or two?
I think it helped ease them out for sure. I mean, Bo told us before the game started, before we got out there, to take a minute and look around, and I think everyone did that. That helped a lot. First 2-3 minutes, I think I was just a little struck by how many people were actually there on the rink. So the warm-ups, I don't think I moved very much. I think I was kind of just caught up in the moment. And then after your first shift, it kind of turns into just another hockey game.
Yeah. Well, that was quite a... Go ahead, Joe.
Sorry, Matt, Frank, really, congratulations on what the program's doing. Outstanding, and for real hockey people, what we like about York is you guys can play it any way. If you want to skate, you can skate. You want to play a little rough, you can play a little rough. You guys are tough, solid in the corners, solid out in front of the net. Great hockey. I always say to people, no matter what the hockey purists try to do to our game with rule changes, our game at any level is determined what you do in the corners and in front of the net. And your program is just doing a great job, outstanding job with the kids, with their discipline and focus and their ability to play at a lot of different levels. So congratulations to both of you, and from a guy that likes a black and blue hockey, that's outstanding. Really, congratulations.
Thank you,
Joe. That means the world, man. Thanks for sure. Yeah, it's we build the program around players like Frank and a lot of those guys that are going to be 4-year players in the program, and we've learned to adapt and kind of make that happen. York's never been really a perennial powerhouse or a household name in high school hockey, so it's been the process that's been going for a long time now. Other coach, Bruce Turpin, who was with us for a while, he got us into the SHL, and I think that kind of broke the ground after a little bit of a rebuild, and then slowly been kind of making our way through there after that.
Well, yes, you're right. It's been a lot of years. The last time I remember York being a perennial powerhouse was in the late 70s and 80s, and Jer Hughes was coaching York at that time. And in fact, I refereed 3 high school state championships in a row, and York was in 2 of them. And one of them, the music didn't work on the national anthem, and I took the microphone and sang the national anthem, and then Jerry Hughes calls me over and he goes, God, you're a much better singer than a referee. Stay focused today, don't screw it up. And Jer was one of my coaches when I played. I didn't play at York, but he coached the junior Cougar team. So, Jer Hughes was great, and York was a perennial powerhouse, and then it's been decades since they've been as competitive as you guys are now. So it's great.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that, man. I think we need to get a little karaoke in there, sing the national anthem for us, Joe. Bring that back, man. Get a couple throat lozenges in you and have a couple sodas.
Get him out there for the opening game for next season. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Joe, I think your
All right.
headphones are ringing a little bit there. Maybe jiggle that cable for me.
Okay.
Somebody's
I'll jiggle the cable.
yeah, jiggle your cable.
I'm-
It's making a little noise. Anyway,
Okay.
I want to go back to the game itself. Pretty exciting hockey game. You guys had what could have been the first goal, and it got waved off. You want to talk about that? What did you guys see? Because I watched the game on YouTube. I watched it off the A-High network on YouTube. So visually couldn't see as much as I would like to be able to see. But, you know, why don't you take me through the sequence of events there?
So basically, well, we all thought it was a goal at first because, you know, all the guys on the ice arms went up right away, as you saw. I guess they blew it dead, I think because they thought it was a hand pass or something like that. I didn't really see it on the ice. When they called it off, I was just like, oh, something must have happened. They must call it off. But after the game, I watched the game. We all watched the game together, and I thought it should have been a goal. I think a lot of the team thought it should have been a goal too.
Yeah. Well, you know, like, first time in this situation, you guys have played in games where you've been down before. You know, down by a goal for you guys is nothing because I've seen you pop a couple in one shift and get right back into it. How much of a difference would it have been if you had been up one goal in this tight game versus playing down a goal? Did you have to change, like, your strategy, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, number one, game atmosphere was incredible. Frank's line started, and they were absolutely buzzing out there. After their first shift came off, they had a couple of chances.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, I think we came out ready to go, absolutely. Yep. And then once that happened, I heard the whistle blow as the puck was going in the back of the net. And, of course, right, big respect for the referees, love the stripes. We've got some great refs out there. They're not going to do us wrong. They're going to do their job, and, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we thought we scored for sure. And then they were about to do a face-off. Then they blew the whistle, and they huddled again. I know we were over an hour behind, and we were told the refs would not come to the bench because they had to stick to a strict schedule. But it would have been nice to maybe have an explanation. And if we put that first goal in, I think our record is 15-0-1 when we're winning in the first period. We've been elite, playing elite hockey, which just goes to show that our team is incredible when they have confidence, absolutely. And it wouldn't have changed my strategy at all, or our strategy with the three coaches. We go out there, we do our game, we outwork you, we put pucks on net, and we try and get around the blue paint. And that's exactly how that goal was going to go in. You know, puck got on net, go to the blue paint, crash, and try and finish. And we did, and unfortunately, it got called off.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you definitely came out hot. You were the team. I mean, I thought maybe we would see everybody just kind of try to settle in the first couple of shifts and get through the few jitters, but you guys took it right to them, and you owned that first period, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think we were on him.
Go ahead.
I think we were on him in the first period. I mean, we play way better, like, on the ice, and we're way better to each other when we're up a goal versus down a goal. So I think that was a huge turning point in the game for sure. Would have been nice to get that first one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, do you think it's an advantage for a team that's been to, I mean, not saying that particular New Trier team has been there before, but New Trier has been to the United Center so many times. Do you think that's a little bit of an advantage psychologically for them, or just being a little bit more comfortable that this is what you're going to expect, where you guys haven't had that experience before? What do you think, Frank?
I think it's maybe a little bit of an advantage. I mean, obviously, you're playing New Trier Green, and that's kind of like been a powerhouse in Illinois for the past however many years. And so, you know, to a lot of the younger guys, a lot of the juniors on the team, maybe that was a little bit more scary for them playing them versus another team. So it could be sort of a slight advantage, but, you know, none of them have played at the United Center. Their coach was brand new this year, so
exactly.
They didn't really have any previous experience there.
Yeah. In terms of conditions, was it like what you expected in terms of the ice, or was it way better than you could have ever imagined?
It was better than I could have imagined. From skating on Addison Ice Arena, you know, all the past 4 years, it was way better than that, so...
You mean it's better than Addison? Come on.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
No, but I got to say, you know, York, you guys really stepped up because, you know, we had a couple things that we mentioned on the show last year around this time, and you guys went in and fixed some things there. I know I had a game that I worked with GBN and you guys that you took GBN apart, but I can tell you there were some unhappy people on the bench at GBN. They felt it was a little cold in that building.
Yeah, we definitely have a home ice advantage when you come into the Addison Square. The Square Gardens a little bit. We're used to it, running practice like Mystery Alaska out there. So it's a great place to be, and I don't think any of the boys would change it for the world. It's a good atmosphere. This year especially, they really packed the stands. Frank brought the fans out for sure. So, Cole Emmerich and who else is out there? Matt Sutter.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. I'm sure we got a bunch of your guys checking in here. So actually, we got a lot. I'm going to run through these real fast. Before I do this,
be careful,
how many
everybody.
seniors? How many seniors are you graduating this year?
Yeah, we're graduating 15 seniors.
Okay, but you got a lot to look forward to because you got a powerhouse JV team coming in as well. So, what do you think? Average, are those guys going to be juniors coming up to your varsity this year, or are they younger?
Yeah, they're actually going to be kind of a younger team, which is, it's great. Same work ethic as our team right now, I'd say for sure. So it's going to be a lot of grind it out, get pucks in deep, cycle over in the corner, and kind of get close to the net and attack. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of. I think we're going to have 5 or 6 seniors next year. So the rest will all be pretty much be underclassmen or juniors. So I texted all the juniors right now and just told them to check in with our 15 seniors because they left a leadership mark on our program that'll last a lifetime. I mean, that's kind of what being a York hockey player is all about is giving back and leaving your mark and leaving your ripple effect. And I think this class did it better than any other one that I've had.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Before we get to, can you hear me now? I switched headphones here.
Yep.
Okay. Frank, great seasons, but the season's over now. Are you going to college?
Yeah, I'll be going to Indiana University next year.
Indiana University. All right. And why did you select Indiana University?
I kind of thought it was the best of all the worlds. Academic-wise, they have a really strong business school. They have 2 really good hockey teams over there that went to nationals this year, and then obviously they got the student life that's pretty cool over there. So it was kind of the best of all the worlds for me.
Great. I was going to mention that. They have some very strong ACHA programs, and that's outstanding. As you said, they had 2 teams in the Nationals because they have teams competing at different divisions. So they have 2 strong programs there. And have you talked to the coaches down there?
Yeah, I've been in contact a little bit with the D2 coach, which is their higher team, and we'll be in contact probably over this summer too about me going down there, getting in some summer skates with them.
Outstanding. That's just outstanding. Good for you. And so now do you have prom coming up?
Yeah, we got prom coming up, and we're kind of on the final stretch of senior year, so
yeah
almost done.
Believe me, in the blink of an eye it'll be over. So make sure you enjoy every day, and make sure you just suck in all the memories you can because you had an outstanding hockey season, and now you end out your high school career, and it's just, each day you just try and get as much as you can out of it. Do you participate in any other sports at the school?
No, just hockey. Just a hockey guy.
It's not. No, believe me, Frank. It's not just hockey. No way. When you play on a team and you're down at the United Center, it's not just hockey, my friend.
And you got to be a great leader because you're the captain of the team and you're helping get this done. And your rapport with your coach and your teammates has to be right there. And a lot of the comments reflect that. We got a lot of interesting comments on there. I'm sure some of your boys are checking you out here. And
yeah, not too good. The comments aren't too good.
And here's one, Matt, Coach of the Year.
It was just for the SHL. So just out of the SHL coaches all voted.
The best 16 teams in Illinois for high school hockey, just the SHL.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, they say surround yourself with great people, and from top to bottom, from JV to varsity, I have an elite coaching staff that I work with. So it's, again, the kids too. They're the ones out there playing and trying to figure things out. So it's definitely appreciate that, and it's an honor. I definitely appreciate it.
York hockey is back. Go Dukes! Absolutely.
That's our buddy Nico Patak. He's a center for us.
And your boys are asking what's in the cup, Frank, and to stop texting.
Yeah.
Okay, my dad played for the Junior Cougars. Cole says that. I played for the Junior Cougars back in the day, probably around the same time period. I just don't recognize his name. Coach Bo, want to see you sing. It also says Bo swag, baby. Bo's got swag. You should see if Bo moves a little bit. You can see the Labatt keg back there, and he's got like the bubble hockey game. He's got it all going on. So he's definitely in the right spot there. So very cool. I'm just reading that we got a lot of comments, so I kind of have to narrate and talk and do this all at once. But anyway, somebody said should have been 2-0 Dukes. You know, that's a possibility. I don't know where they got that second goal from, but did we miss something? I think there were a couple really good chances there, obviously.
I think that he's referring to in the first period they had a pipe too. They
Yeah,
had
okay.
one go off the pipe.
Yeah.
You know that was a good shot, and they had an opening and it hit the pipe and it went back in the corner. So.
Yep. Here's one. Coach Bo, opinions on those return next year, or is he an auto cut?
Yeah, it's definitely not the right comment to pick.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
We need to get him out. He's got to go.
Coach Bo, when are you retiring number 8? There you go. Frank's number his jersey's gonna be retired now.
That's Frank's biggest fan, Cole, over there. But Pfeiffel's going to be a huge leader for us next year. He's another kid we build the program around with his work ethic. So Pfeiffel's a big part of our program. And yeah, absolutely, we'll get the pulley system out and wheel Frank's jersey up to the rafters for sure.
Opinions on captains next year, Coach Bo?
Captains don't really mean a whole lot, you know. Leaders should have a letter on or letter off their jersey. I'm a firm believer in not picking captains until at least Thanksgiving, just because the people that want to be captain tend to fall off a little bit towards the middle of the year. So you got the kids that stick around for a long time, and that's you know, Frank wore that letter for us as a junior, and he didn't have it guaranteed for the following year, but he definitely got the C, and he earned it. He deserved it. So I like to hold off on those.
I think that's a great way of doing it. I mean, I know when I was growing up, they didn't name captains right away. You waited a little while before you knew the makeup of the team and the chemistry and you know who was strong amongst leadership and working with the coaches and all that good stuff. So, and everybody sucked. Apparently, is your mom a really good cook or something? Because there's a lot of meatball action going on here.
Yeah, she's an Italian mother, so.
Yeah, you get good gravy, right? And that's the red sauce for those of you that aren't Italian. It's gravy.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, Matt, what are your thoughts for next year? You got any predictions leading up to the next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Because losing 15 players,
Yeah.
and especially, you know, our 2 top lines are graduating, and our couple of our top defense, and obviously Kazmarek and Jack Mayer, both of our goalies, kind of heading off to college and post-hockey after that. So it really depends. It could be, who knows? Every team loses a lot of seniors for whatever reason. The Hawks are really good around this time, so everybody started picking up pucks and learning how to skate. So a lot of teams are going to be losing a lot of guys. I think GBN's losing 18. GPS is losing around the same. We're losing 15. So it really just depends on who comes up and kind of where we're at. A couple of those other SHL teams had varsity 2 teams. So we'll see how that system worked out, where all those players will move up to varsity 1, where our JV program was our second team.
That's a great point. I don't want to interrupt you here, but I do want to ask you because, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Prep, because I understand that they won the championship today. The Nationals, they are national champions in the Division II, I believe it's called. So Prep had talked about having 2 varsity teams last year coming into this past season, and they elected to only go with 1. I know that GBN had a really strong JV team. Well, not this past season that's just concluded, but the season before that, they were a force to be reckoned with. And then they came up with the second varsity team. How do you think this is going to affect, like, you know, should teams all be required, like, to have this second varsity, or how does this break out? Because we have some schools that have, let's take like Maine Township, for example. I think they have 3 schools there that they can choose players from to do a combined team, but yet most of the players come out of one school. Is that fair, or would it be better to put them into a single school division? And what's your thoughts on that? Because you have a single school division, right? You don't have a combined team. So I don't know how many students do you have to pull from to have your team? Can you break that down for me and explain it a little bit to our viewers?
Yeah, I think Frank might be able to give you an answer based on how many kids are at York. I actually don't really know offhand. But for spring, we had 75 kids try out, which is the most we've ever had. So we're making 3 teams this year for spring. For the fall, is still up in the air. But, you know, SHL is all pure teams. I'm not here to step on anybody's toes and tell people that are combined that it's the wrong move. You know, I think it would be beneficial if combined teams all had their own division, I guess, which is why they have their separate state playoff run. I'm all about competitiveness. We know that none of these kids are going to the NHL or the AHL or, you know, whatever step after that might be. So as long as the leagues are competitive, then I'm okay with that. If some of those combined teams broke off into pure teams and they were able to find a league where they were competitive, then I think that would be a great move. But that takes a lot of groundwork, a lot of logistics, and a lot of paperwork behind the scenes. So I can't speak a whole lot to that because I'm not in that same boat, and I'm friends with a lot of those combined coaches who I think are great guys. So it is what it is. I think they were the red division champion moved on to the prep division. And New Trier played Shattuck St. Mary's today in the national championship as well.
Yeah. So how many divisions do they have? Is New Trier playing in the absolute top bracket of high school hockey, or is there something in between? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was going to ask Brad today because he knows more about this than I do, but you probably know better, like, how these divisions work.
Yeah, that's a great question for sure. So, like Culver's team was in that prep division. Those prep schools that are technically high schools, they have a U18 prep, which we don't play against, which is AAA. They have a varsity A and a varsity B. So that was Shattuck St. Mary's varsity A team, and that was Culver's varsity A team. So they were in the top high school division, yes. Yeah. But then you'd have Shattuck St. Mary's U18 prep team that would not play in that high school division, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I know that there's some really powerhouse teams that are playing. Those are basically like AAA teams. And I've seen Shattuck St. Mary's here in Chicago for some of the games, so they're very good. Congratulations to New Trier. I guess they finished second place in that. So runners up. You know, what a great accomplishment for Chicagoland hockey, having runner up in that and champion in Division II with prep. So, you know, kudos to all the players and the coaches. And you guys, I mean, you've pushed them to that limit. I mean, if these guys are that good, think about that, Frank. I mean, you played 4 years of high school hockey. When you started as a freshman or sophomore here, did you ever think you'd be getting to the United Center? Did you guys think you were at that point where you could make that push?
No, I think if anyone told me when I started that we were going to be at the United Center, I think I would have laughed at them. You know, freshman year, we weren't the strongest team in the league. There were really good teams around the league, so we struggled freshman year, and I think every year after we kind of got better and better.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I think Frank's first year, varsity might have missed playoffs, and then after that, like Frank said, getting better and better and better, and that's what happens when you have a freshman on varsity too. You know, it can be kind of frowned upon because usually you're playing against bigger, faster, stronger people, especially as a freshman. Freshman, you got a 14-year-old playing against 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
But that's one of the coach's biggest struggles because, you know, then you got to put a junior on JV that's been a part of the program for 3 years, and you're taking a freshman, but developing them because it paid off. Frank was our leading point guy almost 2 years in a row. I think he was for us last year too, and that's that's kind of the return you get with developing somebody as a freshman at the varsity level.
So Karen has chimed in here. Thanks for this, Karen. Karen says York has 2,855 students, according to the Illinois High School Association. So
I
went
Karen?
to Lane.
I saw her at the United Center too. She was a trainer on duty. Always love seeing her around. So
Yeah,
hey,
she's
Karen,
great.
how you doing?
Yeah, always one of our favorites, and she's a loyal fan of the show here and likes to chime in and help us in a lot of situations like that. So thank you for that, Karen.
While Karen's doing groundwork, what's the student body of New Trier High School?
Good question.
Much larger.
Yeah. Well, what do they have? Five teams? They've got green, blue, gray, and white for varsity. Four varsity teams, and what do they have? One or two JV teams? I think they have two JVs, so they probably have 6 teams, not counting the girls. I think they have 2 girls varsity teams too. At least they did.
It varies. Yeah, it varies back and forth, and they have some great players they developed for a long time, and Adam's an unreal coach. He's a great guy and a great coach, so he got them there for the right reasons for sure. So nothing to take away from that program.
No, I mean,
it's just
kudos to him.
you
He
hear
walked
people
into the like he's been there. He worked on some of the other varsity teams, but to come over and take over green and have much expected of you. Adam delivered. He did a great job. He had to sell it to his students and his players and make sure that they produced. So Cole says New Trier has 2,955 students. Not a big difference. Lane Tech, when I went to school there, we had 6,000 students. I think they're down to like 4,500 students now, but we only had one team. It was a varsity team, going back. I mean, obviously things have changed, but well, now she's got 4,009, so it's got to be.
I think 4,009 is
coming from, but
4,009 is probably better.
Close enough. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Karen says 4,009. Yep. Thanks for that. So. All right. Well, moving forward with your career here, you're going to go to college? You got to be pretty excited about that. Do you want to go beyond that, or are you kind of that's where you're hoping to be and finish out, and we'll see you in the men's league in a couple of years?
Yeah, I think I got my 4 years at college and then transfer over to the men's league. It's probably my plan for now.
And you're going to major in business? Is that what you're looking to do?
Yeah, I'm majoring in business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's a great school. A lot of friends, a lot of guys I played with that went to school there. So it's a really nice program. You're going to have a great time there. So buckle up your seatbelt.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frank, before I let you pass on going to adult hockey, I don't know Indiana's setup. I do know Champaign and a few other schools have great intramural hockey programs, and a lot of the guys sign up to become officials. And some good officials have come out of the Champaign program over the years. You pick up a few dollars, and you can also work on your edges, and and
sell the program, Joe. Sell the program, baby.
yeah. Unfortunately, Frank, we don't recruit enough hockey people, and Scotty said, you get done with college and you go to adult league. Sadly, that's the case. Guys, get done with their college time, and they're looking for a job, and they think, well, what should I do? Should I coach or should I play adult league? And very rarely do they consider becoming officials. And it's a shame, because who we really need are people exactly like you. Yeah. You come from a disciplined, focused team, and it's not dependent upon a few very talented players and everybody just kind of rides along in the trailer. Your team is dependent on every 5 players out there plus your goaltenders producing and being focused. As an official, you can't beat that. I mean, that's what you need. And in fact, I've always said that the best recruits are goaltenders, because they're on the ice the same amount of time as the officials, and they have, sight lines like the officials many times. Then defensemen, And then, if you have some guys who are top flight forwards that can play both ways. And to me, the very talented guys, the guys that can toe drag through everybody, they're not always the greatest officials because they didn't really have to be disciplined and be focused. So obviously, I would want, everybody from your team, if you have intramural hockey, where you could sign up and go out there and try it out, and see if you like it, to give it a go. I really would. I think that it would be a great benefit. I know myself, officiating, if I didn't get into officiating, I wouldn't have been able to play college hockey because, I started when I was 13 and I worked on my skating and I worked with guys that helped me in my skating and there's just so many benefits to it. And if you could play and officiate, again, pick up some money, so, because nobody covers the cost of your sticks or skates, that'd be good. And also, you just get a different perspective on the game. Your sight lines really open up. It really is an advantage for guys.
That's something I got to check out.
Yeah, please.
Got to look into that for sure.
Please do.
I think the boys are looking forward to seeing Frank in some zebra clothes coming back from college and repping some of the games.
Zebra foot in stripes is the question that everybody wants to know, right?
Yeah, it was cool. Brad and Fisher and a couple of those guys came out and did a referee clinic 2 years ago for us, and I had both teams come out there and they kind of ran them through a level 1 accelerated, and it was kind of cool to see them try and call offsides and try and call a couple penalties here and there. And it's definitely a different vision and a different view of the game that I think is beneficial for everybody to at least try out once for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry I didn't start at a younger age. Believe me, if if I'd had that opportunity, it'd be a lot more fun. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You got to be thick-skinned. But having players that can skate these games and understand the game, having been in those situations where you can relate to what's going on in that game, would be a big advantage for somebody like you coming in, Frank. I mean, so something to really think about.
Yeah,
we didn't turn this into a recruiting program. That wasn't the intention here. But somebody asked if Matt, do you play men's league? Are you a men's leaguer?
I hung up the skates a while ago. Having a wife and being at the rink 5-6 nights a week with coaching, and then also having a full-time job. Going out there at 10:50 at night on a Monday to go get hacked and try and drop the gloves with somebody.
Oh, you had the early game. You didn't have the 11:10 on a Monday night. Huh?
Out in Rolling Meadows, yeah, for sure. So just having some fun with the team and kind of keeping that. Yeah. And yeah, actually the president of the IU, I think D3 team or whatever Temple is a former York Duke.
Yep, I saw that coming up.
Frank.
Here, I'm going to put that comment up so we can look at it. Isn't the president of IU Club Hockey, former York alum, Johnny T. Is that his name, Johnny T? I don't know.
Yeah, John Temple, yes.
Yep, okay, very cool. Yeah,
and that was from Matt Moore, one of our top defensemen this year, blocking shots, eating pucks for breakfast. So we're going to miss him next year for sure. Great kid.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Matt. Appreciate that comment, too. For everybody out there, thank you for checking us out. The replays will be up on YouTube and Facebook. I recommend you go to YouTube. It's youtube.com/C for the channel /Ref Room. So we're easy to find. You can just Google Ref Room. The replays will be up there. If there's a topic or an issue you'd like to learn a little bit more about, like some of the mindset of referees and why they do what they do, when they do it, and how they do it.
Why they call off goals in the state championship? Yeah, for sure.
Well, they saw something that you didn't see, apparently.
100%.
You had 100%. Two of the best. I mean, the two of the officials you had working your game. One, she works the AHL games, so she's working pro hockey, and the other one works minor pro hockey. Another great official. Both of them. I couldn't have asked for better people to be out there for your games. And, unfortunately, and this does happen, we don't have live barn for ourselves. We don't have replay. We don't have the things that everybody thinks you might have in this day and age. It doesn't work that way. So, you're making split-second calls while you're trying to dodge 200-pound players coming at you full speed and a puck that's going, 85 miles an hour, and, somebody that's behind you that you don't see, and 4 more guys in front of you, and everything else that's going on out there. There are things that, humans just won't be able to do sometimes, but, I
I'm
want
just
you
kidding,
guys to
Scott.
understand.
There's a reason why you guys are out there reffing and I'm behind the bench. We just like to chirp back and forth. You guys know I love all you guys.
Well, that's the beauty of it. We really do love all you guys because we have a rapport with you. And I don't think everybody understands that. We all kind of know each other. I don't do a ton of your games. I get a couple a year that I might see you at. But, we know who you are. They know who we are. And, therefore we can get through and be friendly and be able to get you on the show and go out and do your game next time and have you screaming and yelling at us if necessary. So, and it's all part of the game. It's a high energy charged game. And, for officials, you got to have some thick skin. Okay. It's an emotional game. You cannot be out there just thinking like, this guy's losing his mind. He's crazy. He's got a job to do too. So part of that is working the official. Joe knows that, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Frank and Matt, today is the 27th. We are 21 days, 3 weeks exactly, away from the start of the greatest time of the hockey year. And that's the Stanley Cup playoffs. They start 3 weeks from today. And the season ends 2 weeks from Thursday is the last game of the year. So, Frank, Coach, do you have a favorite team that's in contention?
Not in contention. Blackhawks, a hometown guy, but...
Frank, were you at the scholarship luncheon? I know Matt was there. I don't know who was the representatives from your organization that were at the scholarship luncheon for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Our whole senior class was invited there too.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, were you expecting to see the whole team there?
Frank was accepting an award, just so you know, Scott. He made the Blackhawks all team, one of the top 3 forwards.
Awesome.
Right.
He's a humble guy. He was accepting an award there.
Well, tell us a little bit about that and that experience, because that was a really cool day.
Yeah, it was definitely a really cool experience. I mean, you're walking around with, Chris Chelios, Troy Murray, a lot of great Blackhawks players in the past, and you're walking around current Blackhawks. Seth Jones was there, Jonathan Toews walked in, and basically every table had a Blackhawks player at the table, and it was nice to, get to know them. They're more normal people than you really think they are. They're not, these just famous hockey players. They have a backstory too, and it was cool to interact with all them.
Yeah, they are humble guys. For guys that make what they make and do what they do, the majority of the hockey players have always been very level-headed that way.
I
Yeah.
think the culture of our game, of all the major sports, even though there were guys getting paid millions of dollars, they still remember where they came from. And, that's so important. You hear all the stories about some athletes in other sports, and you really don't hear that much about hockey players acting like idiots that we have in other major sports. And Frank, I love it that you're saying you're a Blackhawk fan. I have my Montreal Canadiens tie on. I've been a Montreal Canadiens fan. I've been a Montreal Canadiens fan for 60 years. Yes, I'm very old, and I pull for my Montreal Canadiens, and they haven't been in contention in decades. So, good for you that you're faithful to the Blackhawks, and that's outstanding. Matt, are you looking for anybody in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Again, definitely a Hawks fan. It's always cool going to that Blackhawks luncheon. I was there 2 years ago, and Dylan Strome was there, who was just signed a pretty big deal with the Capitals, which is great. Talked for a long time, like Frank said, just a normal dude. Talked about golf, and didn't kind of pigeon toss me, so that was great. It's hard not to root for the Rangers right now with your boy Kane over there. Other coach that I coach with, he's a big Rangers guy, so kind of fall on that bandwagon here or there. But love it this time of year. That entire Eastern Conference is going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be some great hockey.
Yeah, the Rangers, as a matter of fact, are pretty well locked up in the Metropolitan, and they had the best week in the National Hockey League. They were 8-1-1 over the last 10 games.
Wow.
So, you know, the Rangers are really putting it together. They've got a lot of tools out there, and I think, you know, everybody who's a Hawk fan and has enjoyed Patrick Kane for years, we all have to be happy he has another chance at the Stanley Cup, and he's playing with guys that he wanted to play for. You know, I know the fans miss him, but you know, this guy got another opportunity to play on a Stanley Cup contender, and that certainly, sadly, wasn't going to happen in Chicago for quite a few years. So good for Patrick.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, anything
ahead.
else you want to cover before we go, Matt or Frank? I mean, you're winding down your professional high school hockey career here.
Yeah.
Any advice you want to share with everybody out there?
No, I think I got a couple of former teammates in the chat, so I mean, thank you to them. They were. It wasn't just me. I mean, everyone was a big role. We had a lot of passionate guys on our team. Everyone played a really big role the whole year. I mean, we obviously didn't start where we wanted to, but I think everyone worked hard, and we got to the end where we needed to be, where we wanted to be. That was where we set out our goal originally. So it was nice.
It's quite an accomplishment, and I'm really proud of you guys. I'm proud of the York, the Dukes. I think you guys had one heck of a year, and you know, I think you got a great program, and just keep it up. You got some, you know, great coaches, and you know, I actually got to meet some of the parents at an early meeting in the season, and they're very committed to you guys having a great program. Your president was very impressive. Still trying to get him on my show here with Brad and myself. But, yeah, you've got some great people involved with your organization, and that goes a long way. So I wish you continued success and best of luck in your career at IU. You're going to have a blast down there. It's a great school and a great hockey team. So
thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Coach, let me ask you, when you were talking about the luncheon, you mentioned that the whole team was there, the whole varsity team was there?
Yeah, so there is one parent who is, you know, we'll just call him the man of the Dukes, Todd Stasica. He's we've had all three of his kids in the program. His kid graduated last year and is playing at ASU right now. Great family, and he sponsors 2 tables, maybe even 3 tables to bring all the seniors. Yeah, so all the seniors were there.
That's awesome.
And that's what we're, yeah, it was great. It was a cool experience to get there.
Yeah.
Now, is Todd related to Charlie Stasia?
Frank?
Yeah. I think they are cousins. I think that's what their relation is.
Yeah, because Charlie's been in the Black Hawk Alumni Association for eons. I mean, really, he runs the mentor program there. He's just a great guy, and well, the reason I asked that is, you know, to have the whole team there and to have a supporter or a parent step up and pick up the tab for that, because that is not a economical event. Those tickets, they're tough to get, and they're not, they're pricey. And it should be. It's a great event, and it's well done. It's worth every penny, but I think it's outstanding that you had someone step up so the whole team could be there. Just outstanding. I always said that if I was the emperor of hockey, that every organization would have to watch a tape of the Black Hawk Luncheon and the Illinois Hockey Hall of Fame, because the people that address both of those groups are real hockey people, and they have great things to share. It's just a pinnacle moment each year in Illinois. Everybody's there dressed up in a coat and tie. Everybody's very respectful. As you said, you have players that are playing in the National Hockey League, veterans that played, guys that are in the Hockey Hall of Fame that are there. You have the whole ownership of the Chicago franchise there. And everybody is there to honor high school hockey and the athletes that participate, guys like you, Frank. So it's a wonderful thing that the Blackhawks do. And like I say, I am always moved by the presentations that come up, and a good amount of the presentations at the Illinois Hockey Hall of Fame. There are some people that bring up just everything that makes our game great. They touch upon it right from the heart. So I'm really glad your whole team was able to make it there. Once again, I think it's outstanding that this person stepped up so your whole team could be there with you, Frank and Coach, because that's one of those memories you'll have forever.
Yep, definitely.
And Matt, I want to thank you for doing this, and you've been kind enough to come on the show a couple times, and we really appreciate your insights and what a great job you've done for your organization. So thank you. Anything you want to say from this past season, like experience-wise, or what you're looking forward to next year?
Well, I'm looking forward to having a new group of kids kind of prove themselves this spring, moving into next year. And just could be more proud of the group of guys that are graduating right now. They're going on to do great things, and like I said, leaving their mark on the program for years to come. I appreciate you having me on here. Second time now.
It's our
Always
pleasure.
happy to talk hockey and talk about the program too, because Elmhurst really is a hockey town, and it's started to turn some heads. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of nice flying under the radar for the past few years, but we're looking forward to competing and getting back to work and starting over from ground zero.
Okay. Joe, thank you for stepping in and helping us out here on kind of a last-minute situation. Brad will be back next week. He had a work commitment that came in kind of last minute. So, as always, I appreciate your insights, Joe. Again, Frank, thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank
go
you.
ahead, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
No, really. I'm always honored to be here, and I'm especially honored to be with two real hockey people here. As I said before, I don't
Matt
want to be
and Frank.
redundant, but no, Scotty, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you down, but I am so proud of the style of play that York has, as I said earlier. And Frank, you can carry that the rest of your life. You played with great guys for a great group, great coaches, and like I say, it's just outstanding to be with real hockey people. And I wish you all the luck, Frank, in college. And Coach, I hope that, like you say, you continue to keep Elmhurst building it back to a powerhouse. Outstanding. Good luck to you both.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys,
You know
we
what's
do
cool
this.
about what's cool about Elmhurst and what we've been doing lately is a lot of these kids come back to us. Like we have all alumni coaching besides me and then the JV coach Finnerty, but everybody else is an alumni. So it's pretty cool. We always have kids coming back from college skating with us, and our saying is once a Duke, always a Duke. So just part of the family culture we're building over here in Elmhurst. So thanks for the kind words, Joe. We definitely appreciate it.
And you had the coolest jerseys, that's for sure. Love your jerseys.
You're talking to the guy that designed them right there, man. I think it was Frank. Who else helped you with that?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Got a
Those
shout
are
out.
awesome.
We had a couple
Awesome
seniors
jerseys.
all pitching some designing, so
Yeah,
it was cool.
Very cool. Well, you've obviously done a lot for your team, even behind the scenes, like good captains do. So, anything you want to ask a referee? Like you got one of the best there in Joe Prescott that's been around forever. You got any questions that you'd like to throw at a referee before we go as a last minute thing? Like, I'm sure you guys as a group always have something to say. You got an opportunity here to ask.
Yeah. I don't know if personally I have any questions. I mean, the only thing I would say is I guess like players take it really hard on referees most of the time because they're in the heat of the moment, heat of the game. And I know myself, I yelled at refs all the time. I mean, our coaches yelling at refs all the time. So I guess thanks for putting up with all our stuff. Yeah.
Well, believe me, Frank, that's just part of the gig. And I hope that the passion of our game is never taken out. And officials who have played the game and who understand our game and love our game, they're ready for that. And it's a heat of the moment thing. That happens.
Yep.
Now,
Just know that they're always trying to give you 100% out there, Frank. Nobody's looking to screw
Yeah.
anybody. They really are. They're doing the best darn job they can possibly do. They've earned their spot into these positions at any of the games that they're doing for you, and they don't want to get anything wrong. Believe me when I tell you, they want the best for everybody. So, All right. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your taking time out of your busy day, Frank, and best of luck to you again.
Thank you.
Joe, appreciate it. Matt, you're the best. Keep doing what you do, my friend. And we do this
Thanks,
every
guys.
Monday right here, 5:30 p.m. Central. You can catch the replays on YouTube and Facebook. Please join us. If you want to support the channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/refroom. And you can always buy us some caffeine. Much obliged for that, for any of you guys that are out there watching the show. And we'll see you again next Monday, 5:30, right here on the Ref Room. On behalf of my man, Brad Baumruck, who's not with us today, thanks for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you soon. Have a good one. Peace out.